everybody. Welcome. This is Lift Podcast. My name is Mark from Lift by Media Light. We come alongside students who are discovering a path of love through Jesus. And today, I can't wait to start this episode because we have two of the most amazing people. They're probably one of our favorites. Just because of how I guess how we got integrated, our lives integrated with each other and have been how it's like a tapestry, like you sew it together. And I kind of feel like you guys have been a part of what we do here in our community and our lives as well. We've gotten to know you. My sons actually consider them as brothers.
Wow.
And me and my wife, sometimes we look at these two and it's like, those are our two extra sons. you know, it's like Sometimes I see them on Sundays, and I can't help but like bring them over with you for lunch. And so as much as we can integrate them, outside our weekly gatherings, but also in our lives, and it has been a pleasure.
Yes,
It has been a pleasure. So I want to start with Samuel. Talk us through during like way back 2022 when you first came. Of course, you came here to Thailand escaping the war in your country. They come from a country that has a lot of conflicts. It's a war-torn country, and they have taken refuge here where we are, and that's how we met you. And then every week
Show up.
you just show up. You kept coming back, right? Talk us through like what was your experience then? What did it mean to have that kind of belongingness to a community? And we do it every week too.
Right. Well, it definitely means a lot to me, Mark, because right off the bat, when I first came here, you would always make this remark saying the reason why we're doing this is because we understand how stressful students' lives are, and we want to be with you every step of the way. And when you said that, right, first off, my first impression was like, because of my upbringing and the way most Burmese students are raised, I don't believe that we people of our demographic feel like we get the luxury of feeling sad or stressed out,
Mm.
because whenever we start to feel like that, our parents would always say, look how blessed you are, look how grateful you should be, because you have a roof over your house, you have a proper steady education, good
Mhm.
parents, and stable income. So when they tell us we should think about these things and count our blessings from a young age, we don't tend to feel sad or stressed. We just tough it out. But the truth of the matter is, I think we're all human. We all feel sad sometimes. We all
Yeah.
feel stressed, even students, and everyone feels sad, including students. And when you, Mark, finally acknowledged that for the first time in my life, it wasn't easy for me to accept it, because I feel like I'm being spoiled. I feel like I'm being
Uh-huh.
too entitled. I already peacefully escaped all the tyranny in my country, and
Yeah.
I have a stable, quiet, peaceful life here. And for you to acknowledge how sad and stressful my current situation is, I feel like I did not deserve this amount of acknowledgement or
Attention.
attention. Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I deserved it, because I'm already blessed with having good parents that are helping me.
Yeah.
I should not have attention or acknowledgement about how hard it is. I should just tough it up and suck it
Yeah.
up. So because of that, because of the way I think, I tend to bottle my feelings up and not talk about it.
Uh-huh.
And but as the weeks go on and I attend more of your Live Weekly sessions, I start to open up, and not because I feel like this is what they want me to do, but it's more like I feel like this is what I should do for myself. And it
Uh-huh.
just so happens that this is what they want too.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a win win situation when I opened up, and you felt happy I opened up. And I felt
Yeah.
like, no, I'm done. I mean, I really feel sad sometimes. It's
Yeah.
a fact,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
to process it. And going to Live Weekly, it helps me process it,
Yeah.
and not getting any judgment from you for venting how stressed I am and from everyone else. It really helps a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's such a blessing to belong
It is.
to a tribe and to, I mean, I think all of us are looking for our tribe.
Yeah,
All of
home.
us are looking for that group of people that will welcome us for who we are, right? And embrace us for who we are, and would have the ears to listen, right? And it just feels so good to finally find that and then have that sense of belongingness. And we're so happy that, yeah, we found you. Yeah, it's our pleasure and our joy, of course. Ben, was it weird when your brother started bringing you to Lift Weekly? Did you find it weird? Bring us back to like your first encounter of Lift Weekly and
So basically, when my brother did not tell me anything at all, he just said, "Are you
like what
free?"
we do
What we do?
and
He he,
okay.
he doesn't say anything. He never said anything. He just said, "Are you free on this day?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." And so we're gonna go there. We're gonna go somewhere, and we're gonna have fun. Okay, so are we going camping or something? He said it was kind of something like that. So I was like, okay, so do you need to buy anything? Do you need to bring a camping trip or a camping tent? Like I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So when the day comes and you guys arrived, I was like, okay, so this is just a outing with friends and family. So on the way there, it was kind of a long drive for the first time. So
Yeah.
and we're going through bunch of trees, woods, and we're going deeper and deeper and deeper. So at first impression, I was like, okay, we're
I'm
going.
being kidnapped.
Yeah, I'm like, are we going somewhere really remote or just or just a little tiny straw hat house? Like
Well,
I
we
don't
are
know.
going somewhere really remote.
Yeah. So after I reached there, I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is really a really nice place, and
Yeah.
it's good to be together with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the charms too is, once you arrive here, you see the
You see them?
mountains,
Yes,
you
yes.
see all these rice fields.
Yeah.
So we have this place called the Media Light Creativity Center, and every time we gather these students, we pick them up in their university, and then uh, there's this long haul.
Yeah, long hallway.
Like a long trip from the university to the center. But once you arrive in the center, you see this beautiful
Yeah.
scenery and this beautiful place, and it's I think it's part of the
Yeah.
charm, right? Yeah. So what we do with Lift Weekly, or in Lift Weekly, when we gather students, is we basically share who Jesus is and his teachings, and that's all that we can do, really, because that's what we have. You cannot give what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have is the joy that we have in our relationship with Jesus, and that's basically what we share with students when they come over. Of course, there are other things like we play games, and there are prizes. We have lots of fun. There are also, it's like, we get to know each other. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of, exchanges that happen.
Free food.
There's food.
Yes.
We have dinner every single time. Dinner is on us, and we sit together in circles and have meaningful conversations. But we do all of that so that we can highlight for you this thing that we really want to share. So, talk me through your experience with Jesus Quest. When we started Jesus Quest, how is it for you when we started doing Jesus Quest? Did it feel, because these two brothers are from Buddhist background, and we respect that, right? I'm just so interested to know the first time that we did Jesus Quest, and we would do it every week, but on the first weeks, was it did it feel like, oh, this is so opposite of what I was raised with or what I believe? Did you find it hard to receive or to digest, or did you struggle with it? Can you walk us through your
Mm.
thoughts and your experience?
Well, compared to the Buddha's teachings and Jesus Quest, I feel like Jesus Quest was a bit more practical and relatable, and whereas the teachings that from our household was a bit more broad and general.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely a lot easier to relate with the Jesus Quest because it was applicable to everyday life. The things that they teach us in each week, it was
Mm-hmm.
very relatable because it's happening every day to us. The first thing I think they taught us for Jesus Quest was to control our time with our screen devices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was very practical and relatable.
Yeah.
We don't really have anything that specific in our Buddhist household. They don't really. There's no scription that says control your time with your cell
Like
phones.
master your
Master
things,
your things.
right? Because if you don't, they tend to master you,
Yeah.
Well,
right?
yeah. Whereas for Jesus Christ, they actually directly address it,
Yeah.
and they try to tell us how to fix it, as
Yeah.
opposed to letting us figure everything out on our own. They
Yeah.
kind of like lay out the foundation to helping us accomplish each certain quest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It
I
was
remember having a conversation with you before, and you said it really helped me in my adulting. Can you say more on that?
when I say adulting, I meant like maturing into adult life, like
Yeah.
because let's face it, it's not really easy to transition from a teenager who doesn't hold any legal accountability for their actions,
Uh-huh.
and then change into a full grown adult who
That
has
takes
for
responsibility.
every part of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our parents, maybe our forefathers, expect us to just do it. Maybe because their forefathers wanted them to do it,
Yeah.
but the truth is, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
We're still digesting all the responsibilities that come with being an adult.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't just become an adult when you're an adult. You gotta
Grow.
break
Yeah.
into it. You
Yeah.
gotta
Yeah.
be weathered down,
Correct.
and
And
Jesus.
it takes time
Yeah,
takes
too.
time.
and
Yeah,
we
takes
still
time.
need, we like it or not, we still need somebody to hold our hands at least somewhat, right? And I
Mm.
felt like Jesus Quest kind of did that for us a little bit,
Mm.
telling us how to master our things. Appreciate, what was chapter 3 again?
Giveaway stuff.
No, not a giveaway, like
Make
uh
sacrifice
make
for those who
sacrifice.
are in need.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So these things, I feel like they were guidelines to helping us set up the foundation for what it means to be a proper adult
Yeah.
and maturing into being a better person
Yeah.
in general.
Because that's what it is too. It's lifestyle templates,
Mm-hmm.
right? That we believe Jesus left for us, and he said, "All right, now live it out." Because if you live it out, you're going to succeed in life. It's gonna take you on to this path where you can discover joy, hope, peace, faith, love, all of these things that we try to work for and we try to gain in our lives, but stupidly enough, we think money will buy it. But Jesus says this is the key,
Yeah.
to have all these things that you're longing for,
Mm.
these beautiful blessings that will fill that void that you have in your life, that emptiness. This is the key, right? And it's a lifestyle template. And Samuel was saying earlier that he was able to connect to the practicality of it.
Yeah.
How did you connect with our our talks, our discussion, your experience with Jesus Quest, and then every week, coming to Lift Weekly? How did you connect with it, Ben?
I feel like it was more of a, instead of like you guys talking about science and maths, it's more about teaching us about life and
Okay.
about Jesus. It also teaches us to grow, to learn, not and also like to be more productive, to be
Mm-hmm.
more focused, to be more free, to
Mm-hmm.
so to say. Because coming here is more of a, it's not like a chore. It's more of a, it's not obligation either. It's more of, you have an option to do it. It's like
Yeah.
it's here. You can come if you want. If you don't,
Yeah.
you don't have to. So
Correct.
it's very nice to have it, because sometimes during the week we get really stressed. We get really a lot of bummed out with homeworks and assignments and
Yeah.
a lot of reports. So having a Saturday, a day just to be yourself, to talk about it, to let it go, to be stress free, it's really really relaxing and really
Yeah.
helpful for the students too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. That's awesome. What would you say is the one thing that was developed in you, because you've been coming like since 2022, and I think 2023
Yes.
is when you started
Yeah, yeah.
to go. uh what one thing you think was developed in you through this experience of just hearing the teachings of Jesus and then living them out and being part of a community that freely talks about it, and relating the teachings of Jesus in our practical daily lives? What developed in you, or maybe what changed in you?
I feel like as young adults or college students, we're like a mixture of a fully grown adult and a child.
Uh-huh.
Because I know many people my age. Actually, not many. I know almost everybody my age in my social circle. We have poor time management, like staying up until 4 or 5 a.m. Maybe not even sleeping the whole day, binge
Yeah.
watching
And
shows,
then you have
playing.
a class at 8
Right.
a.m.
Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
like, we're just gonna just sit through it and tough it out. And we
Uh-huh.
do.
But
And
tough it out means just
just
sleep through
sleep
the
through the
class.
class. We just sleep through the class. And
That's what it really means.
tough it out means, yeah,
Tough it out.
pick
Which means I'm gonna attend the class,
class,
but I'm gonna
sleep
sleep
it out.
through
Yeah.
it.
So I feel like college students, we're like the mixture of a functioning adult in the aspect that we know our responsibilities and we know everything we should do.
Uh-huh.
But
We're
as
not
a
gonna do it.
child, we don't want to do it.
We don't want to do
Yeah,
it.
but children, they don't do it because they don't know. We young adults, we don't do it because we feel like we finally have the freedom and the liberty to.
Okay.
But with Jesus Quest, doing these quests, it made me
Yeah.
realize that we should um, anchor down, maybe if that, for lack of a
Yeah.
better word,
Yeah,
anchor
yeah, yeah.
down and finally step up in becoming a proper adult. Because, yeah, believe,
Show up for your life.
show up for your life, make proper time management. Yeah.
Show up for your life. That's one of the, the core messages too that we always, talk about in Lift Weekly is, there's you are your life's manager. Like nobody's gonna live your life for you except you. You need to show up.
Yeah.
Don't just sign up, but actually show up for your life. A lot of people blame, this situation or my parents or, this past hurt, and this is the reason why my life is like this, but as a matter of fact, if you really look into it,
It's
and if
it's
you're
all
going to be
you.
honest,
Yeah.
your life is where it is because you choose
Yeah.
to be there,
That is true.
and it just takes action. Action is what matters,
Yes.
and so you've become more
I've become more
aware.
Self-aware. Yeah, yeah.
You become more aware of the actions that you
Yeah.
put into your daily life.
Yes.
Where does it go wrong? I'm now more aware.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can now tackle these problems.
That's so cool.
Because, for like an example, fruits. As a kid, I never liked fruits, but as I get older, I'm like, I don't. I mean, I should try it. It's not the best, but it's healthy, and I should eat it. So it's not part of my lifestyle.
You don't
eating-
like fruits.
I never liked fruits.
What?
As
Have
a
you
kid,
tasted the fruits in Thailand?
Yeah, some of them are good.
The fruits in
but-
Thailand are the
great-
best, man.
Yeah,
Come
but
on.
fruits just seem like, it's like a poor substitute for something more sweet, like candy. Now that I'm older,
Whoa, wait. Whoa. It's the other way around, bro. Candies
Candies
are a
are
poor
substitute
substitute for
for-
something that is actually good,
Yeah.
like fruits.
right. Well, as a kid, I thought the opposite. And now that I'm older, I felt like, well, I have the money, I have the allowance to buy as much candy as I want. No one's going to stop me. My parents can't. But
But you still need money to buy fruits.
yeah, so
Sorry, but sometimes you need
Yeah.
more money to
More
buy
money.
fruits.
right.
money
So
to
the
buy
point is,
fruits.
like, even though I have the money to not buy any fruits and candy at all, and no one is lecturing me, to buy fruits, I choose, not trying to impress anybody. I choose to buy fruits instead of any candy at all because I like it, and I feel like, why is that?
And
Why-
it's better.
right. It's better. It's
It's
better for
better.
your health. So I'm like, why is that? I'm not trying to make my parents proud by buying fruits.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to show off to Ben and be a better role model. I just choose to. I
Yeah.
choose. I'm not trying to do any. I'm not. I'm just sincerely, genuinely
So
wanting to buy fruits.
you've learned to choose better
Yeah, for my own self.
for your life.
Yeah. Not
Yes.
to impress people and like, I'm eating
Yeah.
healthy. It's just for me.
Yeah.
And I think it really is an ability, right? Every single one of us should have the ability to choose better, right? You can choose better. How about you, Ben? Like, what changed in you
Mm.
through your experience in Lift Weekly and in our community and in Jesus Quest?
For me, I think like the quest for sacrificing your what was it again? Sacrificing.
Making sacrifice for those who are in need.
Yes, making sacrifice for those who are in need. That changed me too, because I am a hoarder, like a really bad hoarder. I
Okay.
still have some of my old clothes. It was I had to. It was because of Sam. Like, he convinced me, like, you need to throw them away. You don't need them anymore. And
Uh-huh.
so I was like, I could use them in the future. I always have those thoughts.
Rags at this point.
Yeah, yeah. It was still like very, very thin leather. It's
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
it's basically not even clothes anymore.
yeah. Wow.
I still have it, but after the Jesus quest, I learned to like sacrifice them, like
Let it go.
let it go, letting it go. Like, I don't wear them anymore. I don't have I don't have to use anymore. So giving them to someone who actually will use it is way better for me and for them too. So
Mm.
now I have way less clothes, but luckily I have Sam to give me for
Hand me
this.
down.
Yes, this
There
is
you
his hand me
go.
down. Right now, it's his hand me down. Yeah, that's sacrificing the things you have for those who need. That changed me too.
And when you let it go,
It
right?
feels better. It feels way better.
But the things that you let go of, they now have the potential to become a blessing for
Yeah.
somebody else.
Yes.
Right?
That makes it.
Because then you can give it
Yeah. Like,
away.
yeah.
You can give it away.
Yeah.
Right?
So nice.
Yeah. My only rule though is like for me when I practice this is if I'm giving something away, I want to give it, that it's in a good
It gives in a
condition.
good condition. Yes.
You know,
Don't worry about it.
no
We're not-
holes in it.
We're not giving
yeah.
away trash.
Yeah. It's still in a good condition,
It's
and I'm
good
passing
condition.
it on as a
Passing it on.
gift,
Yes.
right? That the person is actually going to appreciate
Appreciate
it,
it.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And that's the beautiful thing. You let it go, then it becomes a blessing.
Yes.
Right? It
Yes.
becomes a blessing. So speaking of blessing, one of my personal cherished blessing, okay, in my encounter with you guys is and shared experience with you guys is the fact that I had the honor and the privilege to be with you as you pass
Aw.
through water, right?
Oh, thank you.
I those are
Yes.
like core memory,
Mm.
for me when it comes with you guys. I remember there was this time we were asking the group like, "Hey, we've come to a point where we have gone through the Jesus Quest series, and we've posted this question to everybody and say, how about do you feel at this point, do you want to consider really go deeper in your relationship with Jesus? And we were asking that question of, do you feel like you're uh, at that moment or at that part of your life where you have that desire to walk with Jesus,
Yes.
to really have that kind of relationship with Jesus. And Ben was one of those ones who first basically raised his hand and said, "Yes, I want that for me."
Yeah.
And because of that, we had this beautiful Saturday afternoon where we baptized Ben together with four others.
Yeah.
There were five of you
Yes.
at that time. What made you decide to pass through the water and make that basically public declaration of, yeah, I desire to follow Jesus and I want to have a deeper relationship with Jesus.
I'll be honest, I don't know. Like, I just raised my hand,
Yeah.
and it was at first after I raised my hand, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna be baptized next week, like
Yeah.
that, right? So at first I was thinking like, am I changing my religion? Am I a Christian now? So
Uh-huh.
what's gonna happen? How am I gonna explain this to my Buddhist parents? So
Yeah.
I tell you about that, and you were like, it's not changing religion. It's gaining or making a relationship with
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So, and as soon as I thought of it that way, I feel better. I feel relaxed. I feel like, oh, it's just a relationship. It's more of a opening. It's more of
Mhm.
a gaining a new friend, gaining a family member. It feels nice. It feels good. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. It's never a religion for me.
Mm-mm.
It
Yeah, me
really
too.
is a
Yeah.
relationship. So when students ask me, am I changing religion?
Yeah.
My answer is always, um, maybe you're looking at it differently or
Yeah.
in a different angle because it's never about religion. You know,
Yeah.
it's always about this
The
relationship.
ship. Yeah.
And this relationship is a love-based relationship. This is a relationship with a God who loves me and who is alive
Mm-hmm.
and who wants me to succeed in life. He
Yeah.
wants to lead me, he wants to change me. And to be honest, there are so many things that I need to change in my life, you know, and I just know for a fact that following Jesus is the key to that.
Mm.
And when I say follow Jesus, it means that I don't mean religion. I mean walking with him,
Walking with him.
you
Yeah.
know, following him. And
Mm.
so in this journey with Jesus, if he says, all right, turn right, then turn right,
Turn right.
you
Yeah.
know, because I'm following him. I'm obeying him. And so it has always been like that for
Yeah.
me. I've never seen it as religion. I've always
Mm.
seen it as a relationship,
Ship.
this
Yeah.
loving relationship where I get to walk with my Savior. I get to walk with the creator of heaven and earth.
Mm.
And I am embraced
Saying.
and protected by this love that he has for me, you know. And so that's what it's about for me, you know. So that's it has always been my answer
Mm.
whenever students would ask me, is it about religion, is it about changing religion? It's never about religion. It's about this person and having a relationship with this person. It's going to change me,
Mm.
right? So part of the change that has happened to me is because I come from a different faith background as well,
Wow.
right?
What background?
So we were raised, well, you can say it's also Christian,
Uh-huh.
but we were raised Catholics,
Ah, okay,
right?
okay.
But the thing about it is we were so into idolatry, you know, and all that stuff. But part of the change in following Jesus is what I realized is also stepping gradually. I stepped away from,
Mm.
you know,
Catholic.
whatever faith background I was, because now my faith is in this person, you
Okay.
know, that I'm walking with. My faith is in Jesus. Part of that is walking away from it and stepping away from it and stepping into this newfound faith that I have in Jesus, right? So
Mm.
that's part of the transformation that has happened to me, right? It was a beautiful Saturday afternoon when we baptized you,
Yeah.
and we had so much fun in that. And I have this image of Ben, and I actually think we have a photo of this where after baptizing
Uh-huh.
you, we had this moment where we were able to pray for you,
Yeah.
right? And it was such a sincere, you know, image of you where you're just closing your eyes and your head was lifted up and you're just taking the prayer in, you know, like
Yeah.
you were so serious about what is going on and what you're going through,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Just the sincerity of it all, you
Mm.
know, for me was, you know, was the best, you know.
Ah,
And it was so such it was such a joy to witness you go through that.
thank you, Mark.
Yeah. So he did not raise his hand at that time. But later on, Sam, you came to me, like I did not ask you, but
No, you did not.
you came
I
to
chose to
me
come to you.
Yeah.
and you said, "Hey, Mark, I want to get baptized." I don't know if it was a case of FOMO
It
for
wasn't like
you because you're seeing band is like, oh no, like I'm missing out. But you came to me and you were like adamant, like, I want to get baptized. And it just so happened that we were getting into this camp, summer camp.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, okay, how about let's do it in
Yeah.
camp, right? And yeah, and we did it. How did it feel for you? Like, what was that experience for you? What did it mean for you? Why did you want to get baptized?
So right off the bat, I did not get baptized the same time as Ben or the others.
Yeah.
It was mainly due to my concerns about why was I doing this. Like I
Okay.
said, by the time the baptism was gonna happen, I was already well past the Jesus quest,
Yeah.
and I felt like being self-aware of my actions and my decisions
Yeah.
is a good thing,
Yeah.
and it serves me well. So when you ask who wants to get baptized, I my brain started pondering like, okay, if I say yes, why am I saying yes? Is it because of FOMO? Like, is it because everyone is doing it, or is it because of peer pressure, or is
Yeah.
it because I'm a people pleaser and I just
And
want to?
you didn't want to do it
Yeah,
for the wrong
I
reason.
did not. It did not feel
Great.
sincere
Yeah.
because when you asked if I wanted to get baptized, and those were the thoughts, all those reasons coming into my head, I know that if I say yes, it was not gonna be genuine,
Yeah.
or I wasn't gonna do it because I didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. So
Yeah.
it took me a few weeks, actually, I think a month, right? Over.
It was over a month.
Wait, we
Yeah.
I got baptized around February, right?
No,
I think so.
No, he got around September
Oh,
yeah,
February.
February, and
February.
Yeah.
and I got baptized around June or July. So
Yeah.
that it took some time because
Yeah.
it took months, nearly like 4 or 5 months, for me to process my feelings.
It's a big decision.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because basically you're saying, okay, from this day on I'm following Jesus.
And I always knew that because of my start personality, because with Ben, he would always make decisions genuinely on how he feels. So
Yeah.
I knew he genuinely felt like he wanted to get baptized, so that's what he did. And my first thought wasn't about
You're more,
genuinity.
I got to think this through.
Why am I
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this?
Yeah.
I'm not doing this to please Mark. I'm not doing this because people are judging me. I'm not doing this because my brother is it, right? I'm not doing this out of FOMO. So am I doing this? Am I not doing this? All these thoughts were pondering me, and it really, you know, made me realize whatever is happening in my head, I'm definitely not getting baptized yet. I need to
Yeah.
process my thoughts.
Yeah.
And when I did get baptized, I felt like I felt like it was a really big thing. It was because unlike Ben, I got to get baptized in an actual river.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, I was getting cold feet because the water was dirty, and Mark was like, "Trust me, it's just the soil." And but I'm like, it could be sewage. You never know. But yeah,
I remember the day because we were supposed to do it here in Midlight
Right.
Center
Yeah.
during the last day of camp.
Yep.
But then on the last day of camp,
Water was gone.
water was gone. Like there's no water to fill the pool, right? Because we were thinking we'll do the same. You know,
Yeah.
they got baptized in the pool. We just put water in the pool, right? And we're gonna do the same for you. That day, no water was coming out of any faucet.
you had to improvise.
It was a coincidence.
Yeah, and I thought it made for an extra special
Yeah.
baptism.
It
I
felt
think
really
so.
cool. It felt
Because
really cool.
we all had to jump into
in
the
cab.
trucks, and then we had to travel a little bit
Yeah.
in it's a dam, I think.
Yeah, it was a dam.
It was a dam
Yeah.
somewhere here in the local area here.
Yeah.
And we when we arrived and I saw the dam, I was like, oh wow.
It's gotta be.
Oh wow. Like my prayer was like, I hope that there is the moment we return to camp, I'm hoping the water is back because I'm gonna need a shower.
Exactly.
I'm gonna need a shower after
I was
this.
praying he doesn't get any diseases or any
Yeah.
parasites.
But I was worried for what's that thing that
Leeches.
leeches?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
worried for leeches,
Mm.
and it seems like the water was like filled with it. But it was actually special though. I mean, we gathered around,
Yeah.
and
Everyone was taking pictures. Everyone was like, all this for Sam. Like,
all of this
for
It's all for me.
for Sam's water baptism, and it was so funny because the everybody was like looking, was like, I can't believe this is happening. They're doing this in the dam, and the water looks dirty, And then when I said, anybody else who wants to get water baptized, and the rest of the crowd was like, nope.
I'm not getting in that one.
I'm not getting in the water. So I thought it was brave of you,
Yeah.
and it also made it to be all right. He really wants this.
Yeah.
Like he really wants. Nothing is gonna stop Sam from having his
Took months
water
for me to make
baptism
that
today.
decision, but
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna wait another couple of months to
Yeah.
delay.
How did
my
it feel?
It felt good because I finally got it past. I finally get to put it behind me about all the overthinkings and the
Yeah.
self awareness that was going through my head. And after I got baptized, I knew that I made the right decision by accepting Jesus into my life and
Yeah.
keep putting my mind at rest about
Yeah.
whether or not I'm doing this for people or not. It doesn't matter because I know I'm doing this to put myself at peace, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Could you guys talk me through? I'm really interested to know, being new at this, like you've accepted Jesus in your life, as you said, and now you've passed through water, you had water baptism, publicly declared that, yes, I want to follow Jesus. I'm giving my life to Jesus. So, relatively new
Mhm.
in this journey, but coming from a Buddhist background, and when I say Buddhist background, it's a serious thing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you were born into
Buddhist.
Yeah,
it.
Buddhism.
Like here in Thailand, there's even a saying: "To be Thai is to be Buddhist,"
Yes.
Yeah.
because you're born a Buddhist. Your whole life experience is within the context of
Buddhism.
being a Buddhist.
Yes.
there's there's almost zero, you know, Jesus experience in your life because it's never talked about. Have you ever come to a point where you encounter a teaching of Jesus, you want to follow Jesus, but it goes against, your old faith or your old faith background? How do you now navigate it?
Okay. Well, to address the elephant in the room, yes. I feel like many Buddhist parents, they they feel slightly uncomfortable, and they see this as like some sort of cult thing.
Cult,
It's
yeah.
similar to a cult thing.
Yeah.
It's because they associated this with cults, and in general, cults are never a good thing. So that's what their first assumption is, and
Correct.
I do feel like they're very justified to do so. Our parents were
Because
raised
they don't know.
right.
They
They
don't know.
they,
Yeah,
they,
they
don't
don't
know.
know.
They have no experience.
Correct.
They've never. I don't think they've been in a church. And to simplify things, I see people who are Christians or followers of Jesus as extroverts, people who are outgoing and friendly, whereas people who follow Buddhism in general are mostly introverts.
Introvert.
So
Okay.
so in general, you're not seeing two different religions. You're just seeing two different personalities of people. Extroverts who like to talk and address their feelings, and you see introverts who are very reserved and they don't talk about it. So when an introverted family sees their children, hanging out with extroverts, it doesn't make them feel like, they're doing their job as introverted parents. That's
Yeah.
how I see my parents. That's how we see our parents as, and I think that's how most Buddhist families in Myanmar, their children at least see their parents as.
Yeah.
So, in our case, our parents never really forced us to be Buddhist, like religiously Buddhist.
Yeah,
We do have
It was the cultural background,
Yeah,
the setting
that
of
made-
of when you were growing up, but it was never a like, okay, this is our thing. It was never like
No.
seriously practiced.
No,
or
no,
what
no.
was the situation?
No, we do have a shrine, but our parents respected Buddhism, like they really respected it, but they never actually taught us how to practice our prayers, do prayers every morning or every
Okay.
night.
It was our choice.
It was our choice. Like
So was it safe to say that it's your parents were like raised you as nominal Buddhists.
Yeah. Well,
Open. What do you
What do you mean by nominal?
Like non-practicing.
Yeah,
You're Buddhist,
yeah.
but non-practicing.
No, no,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
So we
if
do
ever somebody's gonna ask you, yes, you say you are.
I am
But
Buddhist, but
we're
we don't.
allowed to
correct. Okay,
pursue.
I got it.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, we
So
do
they
have a
raised
shrine.
you like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We never actually practice, like I said. We never practice our prayers, but and the thing is, as when I talk to other Myanmar students, they know their prayers. They know what to say.
You don't.
I don't like
You don't.
it's and they
Ah.
when they ask me that if I don't know, like they're surprised, like how do you don't know, like did you never learn it, like that since we grew up in Thailand, we never had actually learned any Buddhism prayers, any
Uh-huh.
Buddhism. We only know one, and that's because in around October we have to pray our parents, and that's the only one we know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's about parents
It's about parents and
Yeah.
elders, basically.
and elders.
I have to pray to him. He has
Right.
to pray to our parents.
Uh-huh.
We have to
I
pray
see,
to our
I
uncles.
see, I
So
see.
we practice Buddhism in terms of more of a formality, and that's it. Period.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was when you were growing up.
Right. Right.
Wow.
And that's also attributed to the fact that we did not exactly have a nominal Buddhist background, a
Yeah.
Burmese background. We were raised in Thailand,
Yeah.
and we didn't see much Burmese people, so we did
No.
not get to practice a lot of Buddhism.
I see.
And also, Christianity was more of the majority in our town, in the place we were raised.
Yeah,
And our parents were very open to us hanging
Okay.
out with Filipino kids our age,
Christian
and
friends.
Christian
Christian
friends.
fans, yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we also had Burmese people who were Christians, so
Okay.
they were already chill with it.
So when
before
you
we
were
born.
growing up, you were exposed.
We were
basically
exposed to everything.
I see.
And our parents were aware that this might actually be a good thing.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
only two
yeah.
decisions you can make. One, shut us off from everyone and teach us what what they wish, or let us learn.
Yeah.
And they let us learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
La-
that sounds cool.
that's good.
I want to ask. Go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, last year when our parents came by, they did not ask us about what we're doing in terms of religion,
Mhm.
but before they left, they wanted us to pray to them. But this
Mm.
wasn't like for religious purposes. This was like kind of traditional
Yeah.
things.
Yeah,
It was a
We're gonna
Buddhist-
travel. So
Pray to us. Yeah.
So things, so that things are in place. Okay.
Yeah,
pray.
that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah,
when it comes to
I
Buddhism.
see. I see. Okay, you mentioned about prayer earlier.
Yes.
And you said you never really connected to
Buddhism.
prayers.
Yes.
Right. Do you feel the same? Like, do you connect to prayer now? Because there's a lot of prayer that happens
Yeah.
when we meet,
Uh-huh.
like in camps. When we do camps, there's a lot of group prayers.
Yes.
People lay hands on you and they pray for you.
Yes.
Right. Even in Lift Weekly, sometimes we do have times when we pray.
Yeah.
Do you get to connect to that? To the prayers that happen
In Buddhism?
No, in our gathering.
Yes, I have more connection in your gathering rather than in Buddhism, because in Buddhism it's more of a chant. Like you have to say certain words in the book.
Okay.
We don't actually it's an entirely different language.
Yes, it's
Buddhism religion is entirely different language from the Burmese language.
I think it's called like Pali.
Pali.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
it's like night and day. Whereas in Christianity and Jesus
So if you
Christ-
don't memorize the prayers, you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
yeah, plus
No.
You really don't know.
We don't know.
what's going on.
Yeah.
I doubt most of the Gen Zs, even Buddhist Gen Zs in Myanmar, understand what even
they're
if they
saying.
know the prayers. I doubt they
Uh-huh.
know what they mean.
Because you could memorize the chant, but still not know what it means.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
Whereas in Christianity or Jesus, following Jesus, your prayers are in the same language as the ones we
Correct.
speak. So
So
Correct.
obviously we're gonna relate to it. It's
it
not.
feels more connected with. It feels more connected while praying to Jesus because it's in English and I
You
understand
understand
it.
English.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
There's nothing else about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you see yourself moving forward now as a follower of Jesus? Like, cuz you're about to graduate.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't know if we're gonna, if you're gonna stay, if you're gonna go somewhere else,
Mm.
right? How do you plan moving forward, like how do you see yourself moving forward when it comes to you in terms of following Jesus? Do you intend to pursue it? Is it something that means something to you now? It's something of value and you don't want to lose it. I guess is
Mm.
my question.
Well, first off, two things. The first is when I was just practicing Buddhism, we never really preached or practiced really hard. We do know a bit of it,
Yeah.
and so we never really committed to Buddhism, and that's why I fear I might not also commit too much to Christianity a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the second fear I have is I might lose my way. Like
Mm-hmm.
as time goes on, I might forget my teachings and only be aware of how much I changed by the time it's too late. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be in that position where like, oh my God, I'm like night and day from the person I was 10 years ago. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be in a position like that.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to fully be aware of the decisions I'm making,
Yeah.
make sure it's what, it's what would Jesus do or something
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah.
And make sure I don't lose my way into 10 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, and there are, you know, being part of a community helps, so I'm really hoping, especially in your case, because you're graduating and you're moving on, right? And I've heard like plans of going to somewhere else, taking masters or whatever, or getting a job somewhere else. It really helps to find a community of people, same
Yeah.
heart, same mind, same faith kind of people, and connect. It really helps because you get encouraged, right? And because you're on the same path, right? A lot of the things that you would go through, they're also going through. So you could process these things with them, right? And you could talk to them, and they could be a bouncing board for you, and not just a bouncing board, but also a source of wisdom, and you can anchor yourself in a community. So I really encourage you to find that, when
Mm.
you're gone here,
Yeah.
when you move forward. And 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 to those of you who are watching, that's one of the things too, really, is to find, same heart, same mind, same faith tribe where you can belong to. It really
Yeah.
helps, but also just getting yourself deep in God's word too, like read the Bible, and get to learn, get to hear what he's saying, because my own personal experience with God's word is that it's alive. It talks to me, as a matter of fact, sometimes when you read it, you kind of like think like, does it know what's happening in my life right now? Because this is exactly what I need.
Like this situation is quite similar to mine.
Exactly, and so getting into God's word, and also just prayer,
Yeah, yeah.
What I love about prayer though is um a lot of people ask me, okay, so what does praying mean for Christians? And I always say it's basically your heart turned to God.
Yeah.
So whatever is in your heart, you
Just
you
say it.
you say it. So it's almost like I'm talking to Sam,
Mm.
or to Ben,
Yeah.
about what's going on in my life. If there's a sincere, conversation that's going on, and Ben would ask me, so, P Mark, what's going on in your life? And then I get to share to him. Prayer is like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's this person that I can go to, that I know has ears for me, but
Yes.
also loves me. But
Yes.
not only that, but has power, all the power to move in my behalf.
Mm.
And that's why I have confidence in coming to him and telling him, this is what I need. I need this, and I pray to him and say, tell him what I need, tell him what's going wrong, or the things that I celebrate about, and all that stuff. So doing that anchors you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have those things, as you move on, so that it keeps you on track, it keeps you,
Yeah.
you know,
Keeps you focused.
yeah. So the you were mentioning about prayer. What do you pray about nowadays?
Almost almost everything. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have days where I'm quite stressed about midterms and what's going to happen after my brothers leave. So I'm trying to find I need to going to need to find a new dorm, new place to stay, move things by myself, and have two bikes to rent one out and or sell it. Like I have a lot of things, so I just say everything. Sometimes I just say I'm going through a lot. I have to pay my fees. I have to pay my bills. There's not a lot of money left. Like everything, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have money left.
We're kind of close
We're
now.
on the top of the list. I'm a student. I always need money.
We have no food.
There's always not enough.
Yeah.
I want to go to KFC, but I can't. Yeah, exactly. Like I remember my student life. I prayed a lot when I was a student.
Yeah.
Because there's just a lot of needs.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I need
know.
this. Correct. Yeah. But hey, I mean, what a blessing to just hear you out, guys.
Yeah.
And to just hear your journey so far,
Mhm.
and also get to hear also like how what are your thoughts and what are your feelings about this journey. If let's say you are to talk to somebody who is in this sort of like I don't want to use the word transition because it's being used in different contexts nowadays, but in this journey,
Yeah.
and they're also trying to grapple, the just the reality of it,
Mhm.
and the application of it in their lives, coming from a Buddhist background, my Buddhist parents, but something real is happening in my life and it actually is good, like I want to give my life to it. I want to pursue it. Like there's this growing desire in me to actually get into it and go deeper into it. If you're going to talk to them, like what would you say to them in terms of, I don't know, maybe advice or like words of wisdom?
I want people to know, people our age, our demographic, to know that we're all really in the same boat, same shoes. We've been there. We know, we know people feel stressed for different reasons, feel stressed out, frustrated, sad, and down for different reasons and different issues, different contexts. But we all feel the exact same way, which means we can also feel the same exact way if we, accept Jesus into our hearts. Some people may think it's corny. Some people may think it's like brainwashing or something like that. It's always gonna happen. It's always gonna be there, but it's not about that. It's more about what you want and whether or not you feel happy or you feel just and content for what you're doing. It's all choices that you make, and at some point in your life, if you feel down, I promise you, you can get back up because if you accept people into your heart, if you are part of a tribe or a community that has the same cause or same belief, I promise it's gonna get better. Yeah, it's all on you, but it will.
Yeah, just try it. Like it's nice to have a community of people to talk to be friends with, to be like just to be yourself sometimes, just to
Yeah.
let it go. It's nice to have them because they will support you and you will in turn support them too. So it's more of a give take situation. Yeah, you give it, you also take, and they give, they take too.
Yeah. All right, I love it. Thank you for sharing with us your transition. Transition journey. No, but thank you for generously sharing,
yeah.
and speaking your mind and sharing. Having this conversation is really a blessing. You guys are a blessing.
Thank you.
Samuel and Ben, everybody, come on. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching this episode. See you in the next.
Please like and subscribe. I just want to say that. Please like and subscribe. 10,000 likes.
Do that.
You always wanted to be a streamer when you were
No.